former Bengal, Joe Mixon, running and bumbling and not fumbling. Getting in the end zone there, not once, not twice, but 3 times, 3 touchdowns for Joe Mixon. And he extends his touchdown streak now to 6 games. I know you're a great historian of the Texans there since coming back from the ankle injury for the Houston football team. Derek Barnett, defensive player, returned a fumble, 28 yards, touchdown, a fat guy touchdown there. The Texans emasculate the Cowboys. The final score, 34-10. They were actually somewhat close for half the game, but that's why they play the full 60 minutes. That's why they play the full game there. 34-10, your final. Dallas has now lost not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4. How about 5? 5 consecutive games. That sucks. The Texans, they stop a 2-game losing streak. C.J. Stroud, not that impressive. I was not overly impressed with C.J. Were you impressed? I wasn't overly impressed. Should I have been more impressed with C.J. Stroud? Considering I played last year, I wasn't feeling it. Now, I'm pretty sure he's not concerned how I'm feeling. I just want to point out that I was not really feeling the vibe. I just want to point that out. But the better story is in the losing locker room. So let us discuss the question for the esteemed panel. Can you explain why the Cowboys are so rotten this season? You figured they weren't going to be as good as they've been the last couple of years, but why are they so rotten? So I've got trifecta, the clapper, and train tracks, and we will combine all of these things together, and we are going to put the biscuit in the basket is what we're going to do. So from atop here, from atop the mountaintop, the bully pulpit, the Cowboys, it is a glorious foobar situation. It is so bad. How bad is it? It's so bad, the usual Cowboy apologists that used to call this show no longer even bother to call the show. That we have been able to successfully remove the optimistic wing of the Cowboy fan base that would call this show, no matter how bad it got, oh, things are going to be great, blah, 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 blah. They're gone. They're gone. They're hibernating. They are hibernating at this particular point. So if you're a Cowboy hater, this season is orgasmic, is what it is. It really is. Another wasted year. You put it on, it's like stacking pancakes. Put it on top of the other ones there. Imagine, if you will, Jerry Jones in that cartoon bubble in my head. I see Jerry Jones pulling the thread on a tapestry there, and everything unravels. Like the whole thing unravels. You're like, well, it's just a little, just pull that, and then boom, everything falls apart. That is the 2024 Cowboys in a nutshell. They're enjoying the Three Musketeers candy bar, the 3 sides of doom. At the track, you'd say the trifecta. They've hit the trifecta. Now, what is the trifecta for the Cowboys this year? They're bad at offense, check. They can't run the ball. They don't particularly block all that well. Defensively, they don't tackle. There's terrible tackling. Special teams, there are many brain farts. They have a kicker that can boot the ball from 65 yards, but there are many a brain fart. So Dallas, the losing streak, we are told, the longest for the Cowboys since all the way back in 2015. My God, I barely remember that. 2015, the Cowboys now 0-5 at home. That home field advantage, that giant jumbo-sized scoreboard and all that. And so if you include the playoff game with Green Bay, Dallas, the first team in NFL history to trail by at least 20 points in 6 consecutive home games. That's including the debacle on Wild Card weekend against the Green Bay Packers. So in the current 5-game skid, just in this regular season, the Cowboys have been outscored by an average of 34.4 points per game to 14. They're losing by over 20 points per game in the 5-game skid. There is no end in sight. At least, if you're looking for a little ray of something, Cooper Rush did not look like he should be playing in Pop Warner football. At least he looked a little bit better. But there were several passes that should have, would have been intercepted. Like, it looked like at times he thought some of the defensive backs for the Houston football team were actually undercover Cowboy receivers. And he was merely trying to help out the receivers he thought were, even though they were wearing Texans uniforms, they were actually undercover, part of the Cowboys. All right, now meanwhile, Mike McCarthy is under siege as the coach there in Dallas. Now we have some sound of Mike McCarthy. Here's Mike. I got to hear what he said. Here's him commenting on the performance or lack thereof of the Cowboys.
But we have a lot of moving parts going on, and we just have to be cleaner and more detailed in certain spots. We're not playing well enough, or execute well enough, coaching well enough to overcome some of the mistakes we're making at critical times in the game. Just go, even in the first half, we had some opportunities there to get some more points and didn't get it done. We just have to play cleaner in these tight spots, and we did not do that tonight.
Yeah, so it's kind of obvious for those of us that have done anything in life as an adult, right? Anything in life, whether it's sports or real life, it's how you handle adversity. When everything is going great, man, it's easy. You're living on easy street in life. It's when the crap hits the fan, and that's the test. Like in football, if things are great, anybody could coach the Cowboys when things are going well. But when things start going sideways, how do you handle it? And Mike McCarthy has done nothing to they look like a bad coach team, which they are, because their performance is terrible across the board. Anyway, so McCarthy's a lame duck, despite calls for change, get rid of him, bring in a new coaching staff and all that. Don't hold your breath. Now, that's based on the words of the GM of the Cowboys. He liked the Cowboys so much he bought the team. Jerry Jones reiterating postgame the Cowboys will not be making an in-season coaching change. So give me your reaction to Jerry saying that there will be no coaching change. So I have a theory. I would like to play psychologist on the radio with you. Okay, here's my theory. I'm going to run this by you, see if you agree with me or not. My theory on why Jerry is so hell-bent on not changing coaches during the season, it's because of the clap on, clap off, the clapper. It's the clapper. That's why. Now, let me explain this to you like you're 5 years old, okay? So this is my theory on the Cowboys and why Jerry does not want to change coaches. And I believe him. I believe he does not want to change coaches in season. Even though Mike McCarthy does not have a contract after this season, it would be easy just to get rid of McCarthy and promote the special teams coach, which seems like everyone does that. You just promote the special teams coach, and that's that. But it's the clapper. Because Jerry is still concerned about what happened before when he got hornswoggled, and he doesn't want to get hornswoggled again. He's got PTSD. If you go in the hot tub time machine and you go all the way back to 2010, 1-7. That was the Cowboys' record that year. They got to a 1-7 start. So they excommunicated Wade Phillips. They said, bye-bye, get out of here. They got rid of Wade Phillips. And they promoted hotshot offensive guru Jason Garrett. So they put Jason Garrett in as the interim coach. Garrett had a winning record to close the year. The final 8 games went 5-3, which isn't great, but when they were 1-7, 5-3 is pretty good. So he kept the job for 9 seasons after that, stuck in a pit of misery as clap on, clap off, the clapper, Jason Garrett. Now he's boring people on television, but Jerry does not want to be suckered again, right? He didn't want some interim coach to come in. The Cowboys win a few games in the second half. So he's going to play out the string with lame duck Mike McCarthy, and that is that. Now, how about a quarterback change? Could there be a quarterback change? Here's Jerry Jones on the possibility. Trey Lance, Cowboys traded a 4th-round pick to get him from the 49ers. Here's the possibility of making a quarterback change. Here's Jerry. Listen.
Even though Cooper played better, is there some point you would like to see Trey Lance start and play some?
Yeah, I don't know about that. I want to give our team the very best chance it can to, in all phases, be successful. And so we're going to go here with a quarterback that gives us the best chance to win the game.
You didn't really answer it. I mean, does Cooper Rush give you a good chance to win the game? Does anyone think that? Is there anyone that says? I don't know. Maybe there's somebody that says that. But if you don't play Trey Lance, how much does he blow? Seriously. You traded a 4th-round pick to get him. And if he can play and he shows you something, you can trade him and recoup a 4th-round pick, or you can keep him next season. I believe he's got 1 year left, and then that's it. He's free to roam around the NFL, Trey Lance. All right, now the final part of this Maller monologue, Jerry Jones said he isn't worried about Mike McCarthy losing the locker room. That's what he said, the Cowboy locker room. He's not concerned about that. He's not concerned about the team quitting on Mike McCarthy. Does that make sense, right? Does that line of thinking make sense from Jerry Jones? So from this perspective, it does. It's just business, right? I mean, Jerry's using the old philosophy that many people in politics and business use, that at this point, you couldn't really tell the difference if the Cowboys actually did quit or not because the product's so bad. It's such an inferior suckbag product. You couldn't really tell. It's powder puff level bad, right? It's brutal. So that doesn't matter. So Jerry is like, hey, I'm on the other side of the tracks if I'm Jerry Jones. I'm in the gas light district, not the gas lamp district. That's in San Diego. I'm in the gas light district using the old persistent denial and the misdirection, the contradiction, and just blatantly lying is what you do. It's classic gaslighting. And the Cowboys, they haven't quit. Trust me. They haven't quit, but who are you going to trust? Me or your lying eyes, right? Who are you going to trust? Me or your lying eyes?